Well, we have a new map for GTA 6. This is, of course, not official. And this one in particular that we're looking at is actually just everything we have seen from trailer 1 and trailer 2, and I guess the screenshots. But I did say I would sort of keep up to date on these maps as they come out, because of course over time they will get better and better. And this one is actually really well made, but there's actually a few other ones that have come out over the last week or so. So in this video, we're taking a look at a bunch of maps. Now, a few quick things to go over in case you haven't seen my other map videos. This right here is a map from the community before GTA 5 was released. This is how accurate these maps can end up being. This isn't perfectly accurate to GTA 5's actual map, but it's damn near close enough. It's probably 90 to 95%. Also, when we talk about GTA 5 and its map and how it compares, one thing that I thought was interesting was this picture, which showcases the map without the mountains. Like if you just put water where the mountains were, it turns GTA 5's map into a very small map. And I guess the reason you would just think about this is because there's not a whole lot that goes on, on these mountains. So that's just something I wanted to point out as well. And then this one, disregard the look of this GTA 6 map, but this is in essence the scale. An estimated scale of GTA 5's map to GTA 6's map. From what we've seen, from what people much more knowledgeable in this than I have said, GTA 6's map will be about 2 times the size of GTA 5's map. So again, just wanted to throw all of this out here. When we do take a look at some of these maps, it may seem like it's a small map just because there's nothing really to go off of. There's no context in this. But in reality, these maps are about 2 times the size of GTA 5's map. So even though they might look small, they're going to be pretty damn big. And as we've seen from trailers and screenshots, the world is going to be jam-packed with all kinds of different events, NPCs, and just life in general. So GTA 6's map should feel much, much bigger. And of course, it will be much bigger than GTA 5's map. Let's start with this one. So I guess we'll just zoom in here. Map made by this guy, Yanis, and credit to a bunch of other people who have helped or I guess worked on this. This is sort of an update to the Dupzor map. If I turn that one off, obviously this is the one we've looked at plenty of times over the last year or so. This one hasn't gotten an update in a few weeks now, so this one by Yanis is the one that is the most up to date. And if you are wondering why there's nothing up north or in the middle or even over here, on the left hand side, that's because all of these streets and all of these buildings, which there actually are buildings on this if we do zoom in, which is kind of that's crazy. We already know all this. All of what you're seeing is taken from the trailers and the screenshots. None of this is made up. Where some of the maps do have, if I go back to the Dupzor map, this one, all of the red lines, that is all speculation. Okay, so it's adding some stuff that we don't know. It's just speculative. But going back to this Yanis one, this is all of everything we know. Now, another thing I wanted to point out is, of course, the panhandle up here at the top. This is something, it was rumored, then it was put into the map initially. Then there was another rumor that said there isn't going to be a panhandle. So we don't really know if there is going to be a panhandle. I guess this guy just left it on here because it kind of looks cool. And I'm not going to lie, after seeing this panhandle version of the map, it does make it look very unique. So I do hope they have some sort of panhandle in the final game. But one of the other maps, which we'll look at, this one from Sonarus, you can see that, his map doesn't have a panhandle. And his map actually goes into southern Gloriana, which is the Georgia equivalent. And he also has some other stuff, which we'll come back to this map here in a moment. But yeah, this one, of course, doesn't have a panhandle, where this one, the Yanis one, it still does. So we'll have to just wait probably until trailer 3. Maybe even we'll have to wait after that, because who knows if trailer 3 will give us information on this northern part of the map. But for now, I guess we'll leave the panhandle in. If we do zoom in, it's actually, like I said, it's very exciting because this is everything we've seen. The stuff that is concrete, I should say, because there's also a bunch of smaller stuff like neighborhoods and just other buildings. Like the city doesn't just, or isn't contained in this little area. It does go up and it does, you know, extend further out. But of course, it's just hard, and you're only seeing a handful of pixels in the screenshots of that. So that's why it's not on this particular map. But this makes the southern part, I think, look kind of massive. Given that this is going to be 2 times the size from GTA 5's map, like the Vice City area alone might be close almost to the usable area in the GTA 5 map. And then of course we have Port Gellhorn over here, which we don't know a whole lot about. I mean, there's a decent amount. We do have a second airport. There's like a racetrack, I think, on it as well. It goes over this bay, which is kind of neat. I am personally hoping for, even though it doesn't make sense from IRL stuff, I'm hoping we get some sort of connection between these waterways, because that was one of my main complaints with GTA 5 is like you had the ocean, you had a couple of lakes and stuff, but there was not really a good way to drive a boat through. You had to go all the way around. So hopefully they can maybe figure that out. But yeah, this is very, very cool. And down here, obviously in the Keys, I think this may give us a really good look. Now, hopefully the Keys area, the swampy stuff, there's a little bit more. I think it looks maybe a tiny bit small on this map, but again, maybe just because context, we don't have a full idea of what it would be. But I do hope there's a decent amount of the swamp, because I think that'd be just a fun area to do stuff, to do random stuff in. And then the Keys, like the actual islands, I mean, got some pretty good detail there, mainly because we've seen a decent amount of this in the trailers and the screenshots. And I guess there's even a little runway, which I did not notice. But again, I think probably this whole right-hand side is going to be city or, little towns and stuff. It's not just going to be a barren mountain or anything like it was in GTA 5. And it's sort of looking like that might be the case for this game. There's not going to be a whole lot of useless areas, maybe, if that's the right word for it. I don't know if it is. Because, of course, in the north part, probably somewhere above the lake, there's going to be Mount Calaga and that whole, like, the national park thing. But in the southern part, it just seems like there's going to be not a lot of dead space, which I personally think is nice, because you're going to have constant interaction with certain NPCs and other things. So yeah, I actually think this map is really well made. I'm, of course, for sure looking forward to more upgrades. You can see this is V7 up here, so maybe when it hits V10 or something, we'll revisit it and see what's changed. But I think this actually gives you a pretty good idea of how the map will look and how it will structure. You have the big old city, a couple of little minor cities, and then the northern part, that's going to be your main, like, nature area. Like I said, I wanted to take a look at some of the other maps. So if we do go back to the well, actually, let's just go through all of them. So Dupsor, of course, the one we've already seen. There's one that someone is making just of the Vice City area, so you can see how detailed that goes. And I'll leave a link to this website in the description if you want to take a look at it, because it's always interesting just to look at it. We have another one. I think this one is of what's just confirmed. So, like, there's no outlines. There's just the places we have seen, again, in the trailers and the screenshots. So pretty neat little one there. But the other one I really wanted to look at was this one, the Sonarus one. And this one is another really cool one. Like, I do like the panhandle, but I also am liking what people are doing with the northern landscape up here. I do hope we get something like that. I don't know how it would work in game, how Rockstar would restrict you from going up there, but I hope we get that rather than just an island, because I do like the RDR2 approach to maps. But of course, we're in GTA, so we have planes and everything else that can fly, so maybe it's a little bit harder to do. But yeah, I actually really like that. This one maybe gives you a better idea of how big the city will be. And again, remember, this is 2 times the size like the total size of GTA 5's map. So this is a huge area for city buildings, you know, houses and stuff. It looks like, you know, I don't know how accurate this will be, but the Port Gellhorn, he's putting more of it on the northern side of the bay, because down here it looks like, you know, there's not a whole lot, but it is close to Ambrosia. So maybe this actually ends up being true. Maybe there's not a whole lot to this southern part of Port Gellhorn. There's a couple of little hills, and then you get to Ambrosia, to the lake. You know, you have the farmlands, which we did see in one or two of these screenshots. And then he has Mount Calaga just way up here in the north, which again, you know, somewhere, it's going to be somewhere up here. So that makes sense. This one, I will say, does feel a bit too cramped for my liking. But I do think maybe this one gives you the best idea of what a finalized map would end up looking like. You know, I think this one gives you a good mix of everything. You have the big city, and you have another, you know, relatively big city. You have a couple little smaller towns here and there, a couple up at the top, you know, one in the middle here, a couple on the lake, and then you have the smaller ones on the bay here. This one has the Everglades or the swampy area, very, very big, which I appreciate. Maybe this one's a bit too big though, so maybe we can find a little middle ground. It also has some islands out here, which probably won't happen on launch, but maybe this is, you know, could be a DLC thing. You get some unique stuff out there. I really like this map. I think it's a bit, again, too compressed, but I really love what he did with this, and even some of the stuff up here in Gloriana, if they want to go that far. Like, this is some cool stuff here. I don't know how they would stop you from going further. Maybe they could just have the road being closed and it's as simple as that. But I like this one a lot as well. But these, I think, were the two most up-to-date maps. And again, I'll leave a link to this website in the description if you want to check it out. I just think this is really cool. While we're waiting again for trailer 3, which isn't going to come out for another couple of months more than likely, the map maker people, they're going hard with it, and they're making some really cool stuff. So very interesting to me. Hopefully it is to you guys as well. Thank you guys for watching. That is going to do it for today's GTA 6 video. Please drop the video a like if you did enjoy, subscribe for more GTA 6 content, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.